like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And, you know, I think it's time. It's been a week has gone by as I'm recording this. I'm recording this on Sunday, October 30th. 7 days past the Jodie Whittaker era. It's a wonderful new world that we live in. I think it's time to start doing a bit of a roundup of the reaction to it. I did a review roundup on my live stream last night. I literally couldn't find a good word to say about it. I looked in The Guardian, I looked at Independent. Everybody savaged this thing, right? Everybody savaged this thing. So that's basically what's going on. The savaging of Chris Chibnall is in full swing, right? The savaging of Chris Chibnall is really going down. There's so many articles, like, tearing it apart. I don't know where to start, but we're starting with this one, right? We've got one, maybe two we're going to get through. This is going to be a series of videos, and people are absolutely savaging him. Honestly, I think it's a bit tragic. On many levels. Okay. Chris Chibnall was not good for Doctor Who. Let's be fair. Chris Chibnall was not like, oh, that worked out well for Doctor Who. He wasn't good for Doctor Who. And certainly in his first year, they were so arrogant, right? They were so insanely arrogant, and they brought with them, I think purposely and happily, so much hatred, so much hateful fans into Doctor Who that if you criticize any way, they will scream at you, you're a bigot, and it was completely insane. What was really going on, by the way, in their heads is when you said you didn't like Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who, they heard you say, I love Brexit and Donald Trump, and I love both of those things because I hate black people and women and gay people, right? That's literally what went through their heads. They're like, ah! And that's why their reaction was the reaction they had, because it was insane, right? We lived in insane times. We live in more insane times now, okay? But we lived in insane times then. So, you know, there's a lot to not like Chris Chibnall for, right? There's a lot to be somewhat annoyed with Chris Chibnall for. Yeah, I agree completely, right? There's certainly what to be miffed with him about. And then, you know, the quality of it was absolutely terrible. And then season 11... season 11 and 12, I'm going to somewhat give him, right? Season 11, he had no idea how bad it would be. None of them had any idea how bad it would be. Like, nobody knew how awful it was going to turn out. They all thought it was going to be quite good. And then season 12, they thought they turned things around. Right? They thought, oh, yeah, we got the Master, we got Daleks, we got, Cybermen. Oh, yeah. And it was even worse, right? It was even worse. So, you know, by the time we got to Flux and the specials, Chris Chibnall wasn't feeling that great about life in general. I think he got told to remove the Timeless Child from the finale, just forget about everything, leaving the things that these fanatical, hateful fans really liked just dangling in the wind. Timeless Child forgotten about. Phasmin basically forgotten about. I mean, Phasmin was dealt with one kind of poster image of, it was really quite gross, actually, of Mandek or Yaz, like, cradling the Doctor like a baby, and the Doctor was snuggling up. Oh, and that's not romantic love. That's not normal love between two, you know, spouses, right? That's weird. That's like this weird loving babying thing, and you see it all the time. But basically it was done. It's all forgotten about. And along with that came a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth, right? A lot of people very upset that they forgot about those things. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Maybe we'll be having a little giggle as well. Who knows on Disney? But get ready. There's a lot of these articles that we're going to go at. There is just a lot of them. Before we get into it, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are fantastic. Sign up my Substack. It's in the email newsletter. And that is my email newsletter. In the video notes, just remember where everything is. It's my email newsletter within the video notes. It's free. It lets you know where all my content is. Put a bunch of extra stuff in there as well. Lots of old articles from Doctor Who magazine or old comic strips. So just fun stuff, right? Fun stuff that's out of print. You're not going to see anywhere. Yeah, that's all good. So sign up for that. Also, I give out stuff on my paid one. Paid one's $5 a month. This month, I don't know when this video is going out. This offer may have ended by now. But if it did and you want to sign up to the paid one, just get in contact. I'll send it to you, no problem. You get at a PDF of this comic book, The Imperium. Look at the width of that! Oh, it's gorgeous! Fantastic artwork by Dominic Rancho, and great backup strip called The Ice Warriors. It's just a lot of fun, and it's like $5 a month to go help yourself to that. I think this month I'm starting my book called Ecky Thump, a guide to the Jodie Whittaker era of Doctor Who. I got to get a bit more of the scathing title, but I haven't started writing it yet. So you're going to get bits of that this month instead, as it's being written. Fine, like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. If you can subscribe, that really helps. There's about 40% of you, 50% of you watching who haven't subscribed. It's one click. It really helps me insanely, right? It's so weird how much it helps me, but it does help me a lot. If you can help me out with that, that'll be, oh, you guessed it, baby, Fandabby, double dozy. And I think we can all agree, if you're going to have a female Doctor Who, they should have started with Wee Jimmy Cranky, okay? That is the female Doctor Who that we both, that we all deserved, right? Wee Jimmy Cranky. Fine. Let's have a look at this article. So a bit of Chibnall savaging. Doctor Who's Timeless Child is officially dead. Yes. Yes! Bye-bye. It's officially dead. I'm curious that, did Chibnall intend to just forget about it completely? Was that his goal? Was that his idea? Let's pick that up, pick up that mystery. No, they're going to clean up the mess is what they're going to do. Or was he told to drop it? My guess is he was told to drop it, right? My guess is it was like, this is destroy. I know firsthand, well, not firsthand, reasonably close to first-hand from inside the BBC, they were not happy. They were not happy in any way, shape or form about how the current era of Doctor Who has fared, which has been badly, right? They are not happy with that whatsoever. Hopefully he was told to cut it out. I mean, I can certainly see that happening, right? I can really genuinely see that going down. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know. I wasn't fly on the wall. Would it fit into my prejudices in life and that happened? Yes, it would. Right? Would it amuse me? Yes, it would. Absolutely. So, but let's see what Thomas Bacon has to say. Thomas Bacon, he's not the worst of the worst. He very much leaned into the Jodie Whittaker era. Again, I think that's because if you said you didn't like the Jodie Whittaker era, people thought you were saying, I like Donald Trump and Brexit because I hate black people and I hate gay people and I hate women, right? That's what they thought you were saying, right? It was a time of complete insanity, right? A time of complete insanity. And, you could have said, well, I like Donald Trump and Brexit, but I also like black people and gay people and women too. They go, no! You're lying! You're lying! That's why you hate Jodie. There's no reason you couldn't hate Jodie, because everything she did is perfect. Dude, I've seen the episodes. They're very bad. Right? Let's not sugarcoat this. They are very, very bad. Okay, let's be clear. They're very, very poor. It would be my mark I gave it. Very, very poor. Fine. Where are we up to? Fine. Okay, I'm going right at the beginning. The Doctor Who community. Oh, so he was very, 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 very much on board for the Timeless Child. Oh, so stunning, so brave. No, it was awful. It was, you know why it was so awful? Because it was so transparent. It was so transparently racist. It was like, black people are simple people, aren't they? They can't see themselves in anything. They don't see it looking exactly the same. And we got to treat them like babies, like little baby infants. Oh, yes, because we're stunning and brave. So we got to make Doctor Who be less black and male, so everybody can love Doctor Who. How'd that work out? Oh, it failed completely, didn't it? I wonder if we get the 7-week, 7-day figure today. That'll be fun. The Doctor Who community was rocked by Chris Chibnall's Timeless Child retcon, but the idea is officially dead after Power of the Doctor. When I say it was rocked, it was reviled, I think is a much stronger, I'd say much more realistic take on it, right? It was absolutely reviled, right? By basically everybody, right? And I'm sorry if you're somebody who liked it. It wasn't popular. The reality is it was not popular. I don't know how to convince you of this. I mean, that was just reality. Oh, look, people don't like reality so much anyway, especially when it disagrees with them. Yeah, but it's gone. Bye-bye. Da-na-na-na. Hey. The Tiny Style concept is officially dead. Yes! After Doctor Who Centenary Special, the power of the Doctor, Jodie Whittaker's time as the 13th Doctor has come to an end. But she isn't the only one, the only one to be leaving after the Doctor Who Centenary Special. It's not the only one. It's the finale was also it was also the final episode under controversial showrunner for controversial read garbage showrunner Chris Chibnall. Yeah, look, he just did a very bad job, right? And listen, I see like things on the internet of like, I saw something today of a bunch of fans passing around a picture of him and spitting on it. It's a bit silly. Yeah, I can understand. He was a dick. It was an arrogant dick. But man, like, you know, you don't need to punch somebody when they're down, right? You don't need to do that, and it's not a good thing to do. You shouldn't punch somebody when they're down, which is what it is, right? I think his career's been destroyed. I understand they keep saying it was a success, it was best as ever. The thing is, they all know they're lying. All the people saying it on the BBC know that they are lying, right? They know without any question that they are lying. So they just think it's okay. Hello, if everybody knows it's a lie, I'm not doing any harm. No, yeah, you are. It's called gaslighting, right? They don't believe it was good. It wasn't good, right? But his career has been... even his career survived it. This has been a very embarrassing failure. A very, very public and a very, very embarrassing failure. It's funny on this video, like highlighting this embarrassing failure, going, you know, I don't think you need to pile on anymore, which is, yeah, basically what I'm doing, right? So, yeah, I'm sorry, Chris. But honestly, I feel very, very, ambivalent about it, because, like, I think he did terrible damage. I think he was a real dick. I don't like seeing anybody, being put through hell. Look, Kanye West's statements about Jews were clearly anti-Semitic, right? Clearly. There's no wiggle room he's got with that. There's none, right? I mean, unless he was talking about Jews from, there was Jack the Ripper left a message after one of his victims, and he put he spelled Jews Jews, talking about something else. If he was talking about that, then he was okay. But no, he was anti-Semitic, okay? These things happen, right? These things indeed go down. Fine, where am I with this article? It's... Doctor Sydney's special power of the dark. Jodie Whittaker's time as the 13th Doctor has come to an end. But so I was just saying, look, so Kanye West has been cancelled from everything. I don't see any necessity for that. Let people think whatever they want to think. Even though, again, I think what he thinks is genuinely anti-Semitic. But, you know, I don't think there's a reason to destroy somebody's life, right? Bigotry isn't a reason to destroy somebody's life. I think acting on bigotry, that you should probably lock somebody up for that. But other than that, no, stop with all this. So Jodie Whittaker's time to the 13th Doctor has come to an end. Yes, thank God. Fine. An old school Doctor Who fan, Chris Chibnall. Chibnall's been heavily criticised as a dependency on nostalgia, as a tendency to place lore above character. Well, not really. He's just not very good at his job. Was really the bottom line. He's just not very good at his job, right? Sorry to say it that bluntly. He did a horrible job writing, and he had to find things to hide his complete lack of ability in writing Doctor Who, making Doctor Who. So all these things are symptoms. The root cause is he was very bad at his job. Right, the Chibnall era is synonymous with the Time Child retcon, which perfectly illustrates the problem. Doctor, you loved it at the time, you lying pieces of shit. I mean, really? I use this analogy quite a lot, but it's like when the Allies went into Germany at the end of World War II. They said, it was like, no, I did not vote for the Third Reich. No, I am a good German. No, really, dude? They won by a massive majority. What are we supposed to think? Everybody, you all loved it, right? You all loved it. It amazes me how much people don't want to take accountability for things, right? And people will just lie and lie and lie rather than take any form of accountability. It's very bizarre to me. where we are. Doctor Who Season 12 revealed the Doctor is not a Time Lord at all. Gone! Rather, she is the timeless child, a billion-year-old being who became... Oh, God, how many billion-year-old beings did he make with his superpowers? Kept seeing these... I mean, like, really? You should have picked this up after the Battle of Ronkus Onkelbonkel, whatever it was it is. That these superpowered godlike beings are not very good. They don't really work. Because a billion-year-old being that became the base genetic code for the entire Time Lord race. There's a strange sense in which the timeless child changes everything and nothing at the same time. Again, it changes everything in making the character not white and male anymore. It's diluting all that icky-wicky white maleness. And again, I think this is exactly what the BBC said they wanted, right? I honestly, the BBC were interviewing Chris Chibnall and Toby Whithouse for the role of showrunner. Toby Whithouse says, I want a really great, engaging, dark, scary Doctor Who, like from the cold winter nights of the 1970s, the sort of Doctor Who that was famed by Philip Hinchcliffe and Robert Holmes. Yeah, get back to Toby Whithouse. There's great episodes. God Complex. There's really great, scary episodes, and he has a great pedigree. And Christian said, we got to make the Doctor Who into be a lady, so ladies can see themselves. I mean, they got to make him into black ladies, and brown ladies, and yellow ladies, and God, can you stop grading everybody by skin colour? But that was the BBC in 2016, 2017, you know. Again, they saw Brexit, they saw Donald Trump, and their brains fell out their ears. At the same time, it's a major adjustment to the law. Well, it tears apart the law in a completely nonsensical fashion. Not really a major adjustment. It's a major savaging of the law. But the episode in which the retcon took place went to great lengths to reassure the viewer that there'll be no lasting character impact. Well, that was just stupid. Okay, we've made your character virtually, indestructible, and there's billions of you now. That has a major impact to the character, even if you don't focus on the impact of the character. Do you want to see how much it's over? If you can just see over here, right, in this little YouTube video they got embedded in the article, the logo. Gone is a Jodie logo that was scrubbed from reality straight away, and back is the old 1970s Tom Baker logo, revamped for the 60th anniversary. That means made blue and slightly redrawn, and nothing like the Paw Patrol logo at all. Really, I that's just a weird criticism from weird people. So it's a major adjustment, but the episode in which the retcon took place went to great lengths to reassure that there are no lasting impact. Have you ever been limited by who you were before? Joe Martin's future Doctor, we didn't even see in Power of the Doctor. Right, that's how much they forgot about. They just brought back a hologram of them. Joe Martin futures Octa in a Matrix vision, which made no sense whatsoever, reminding the viewers the Doctor transcended the past. Well, this Doctor didn't. Now, though, after the Doctor's centenary special, the Timeless Child is officially dead. Yet they're completely forgotten. Yeah, much like when she met Joe Martin's Doctor, the fugitive Doctor, Dr. Ruth, or whatever you want to call her. They're like, oh, you're you must be in my future. I don't recognize you. And then, oh God, I can't do her voice. She's too like, you must be in my future. That came out more like Ace, because I don't recognize you, right? So, did they stop to work out the problem? No, just ignored it and moved on, didn't they? Much like Chris Chibnall. Chibnall's final episode ignores the Timeless Child. I think to great effect, quite frankly. Yeah, I think it was a good idea to ignore the Timeless Child, right? The Power of the Doctor is the final episode of the Whittaker era, and as such, it features a lot of character ideas from the last few years. Surprisingly, though, it doesn't make any explicit reference, or any tacit reference for that matter, to the Timeless Child. The concept is implicit. The Master is trying to steal the Doctor's body, likely to gain the Timeless Child's infinite regeneration ability. Yeah, I mean, really, you're not going to, like, want to reference that? I mean, after really doing a lot of damage to shoehorn that stupid idea in. infinite regenerations, make throwaway reference to the Doctor's forgotten history. Yeah, I mean, really? I mean, there wasn't much room. You had too much time, like, running around from bit to bit. You know what it kind of reminded me of? There's a great Monty Python sketch where they're making fun of the election coverage. And this was back in the 60s, right? Where they're all, like, breathless and running from the, we got to go over there to clap on the wing. Oh, no, we got to go. Let's look at the swing over there. That's what the power of the Doctor kind of seemed like. To be fair, Chibnall always seemed to have given the timeless child story to be done with. So why'd you have the fob watch and all that shit? I wanted to leave little bits of gold for people to pick up in the future. They're pieces of shit, Chibnall. God. I honestly, the more I hear you, the more I'm like, oh yeah, this savaging of Chibnall is completely warranted. He'd done with Chibnall's goal was to restore a sense of mystery to the Doctor. It wasn't a sense of mystery. If you had something nonsensical in, like all of a sudden the Doctor wakes up and she's a gynecologist from Clapham, and then it's just, Doug goes back a day, gets a coffee, goes to a gynecological exam. No Daleks, nothing, just carries on for like 6 months like that. No, that's not a mystery. That's called shit, right? That's what it is. The thing I wanted to dispel was the sense that there was a locked-in fixed myth, and the only stuff that counts is what's been on screen so far. I wanted it to feel like the story could get much bigger than this. So how'd you make the story much bigger? Oh, right, you had a black woman holding a big gun. How 2022 science fiction can you get? I mean, we see that how many times? Oh, what should we do in this story? How about making it about a big woman? She was reasonably big. A black woman with a big gun, right? Which is every freaking sci-fi show. Oddly enough, that means Chibnall, likely considering his mission accomplished, from the introduction of Timeless Child, retcon, the last thing you want to do is build upon it, providing more concrete answers. So why did he do that then? Why did we get the Temple of Atropos and the evil villain Time? We were all expecting. Well, I wasn't. Okay. We were all expecting these things to somehow, at some point, make sense. Nope. Why Rusty Davies probably won't address the Doctor Who's Timeless Child? Because it was shit! I remember that. Who was it? It was some model who had a talk show modeled on Oprah's talk show where she was trying to work out why men went to strip clubs. What was it that made men go to strip clubs? It was the hot young ladies wearing lots of makeup, taking their clothes off in front of you for pay. Okay, that's essentially it. They're not there for the buffet, right? She was like, ooh, why? Why do men want to go to strip clubs? So I remember this because it was on a Howard Stern show at the time. That's back when Howard Stern was cool. And he did a skit where he was trying to work out, why is it that men like blowjobs? Why? What is it? Ooh, I can't quite work it out. Because you're having your dick sucked. I mean, really, do you need diagrams? This isn't complicated, right? Why won't he address it? Because it was shit! Badly thought through shit! Oh, Russell, why aren't you eating that piece of shit I left on your pillow? Because it's shit. Oh, well, there you go. That seems to answer that question. Chibnall expects the Timeless Child twist to be ignored. Then why the fuck do it? Because you didn't expect it to be ignored. You expected it to work. You expected season 11 to work with no bloody monsters and it being boring as hell. You expected season 12 to work. When you put all the monsters in it, it was even worse. By that time, people realised how shit you were and the spell was gone. When Flux was on, they started pummeling you, right? And that was the best thing you bloody done. It's so unfair, right? There's nothing about this that worked out fair. So like I said, I'm feeling a bit ambiguous about Chibnall right now. So he explains it being ignored by Rusty Davis. It's one of the few drama series that's written without a Bible. And every era contains a contradiction or a left turn from no. They added in new interesting things and new ways of looking at things. Deadly Assassin, right? That reinvented to a great extent what the the Gallifreyan Society, right? It didn't contradict anything. It added a new layer of mystery in, but it didn't contradict anything, like, explicitly. It didn't make things not make sense. Adding in the War Doctor, I thought was a brilliant bloody idea, right? Great interview with from Stephen Moffat from Doctor Who magazine at the time. Said, look, I had lunch with Christopher Eccleston. And I could have gotten to say yes. It was like I could have twisted his arm. It was I could have gotten to say yes, but I sense he didn't really want to, right? And from that was born the War Doctor, which is great. John Hurt, great. Jonathan Carey on Big Finish, absolutely great, right? Really, really like the War Doctor. So yeah, no, you're full of shit there, Chips. I'm sorry. He explained in one interview. Any future showrunner will ignore it. Oh, run with it. Ignore it. I fully expect Russell to ignore it. So why are you being cutesy wootsy about it, right? Now I don't have TikTok. One of the weirdest things about my life right now is my mother-in-law is spending a lot more time with us. Not for the next few weeks. My wife is off on this big fundraising trip in America for the next 3 weeks. So I'm on my own. Probably going to be streaming a lot more. Expect me to get a bit funny over the next few weeks. What was I going with that? I can't remember. Ross Lee Davis, wife going away for 3 weeks. That just threw me off. Never mind. Maybe it'll come back to me as I'm rating this video. So why do it? Why on earth do it? You expected it to be continued. He's probably right. David is essentially relaunching Doctor Who in 2023, and he won't want to get bogged down with the continuity idea like the Timeless Child. Yeah, absolutely. This is particularly true given how divisive the Timeless Child has become. Many viewers reject the Timeless Child outright. So, in my headcanon right now, and I hope this works out, there's certainly something different going on with this Tennant Take Two regeneration. More than his clothes regenerating. I think that's an indication of things. Yes, I understand. When we went from 1 to 2, his clothes changed under the cloak, and somehow magically Peter Davison lost Tom Baker's jumpers, and they were replaced with sneakers. That's just obvious mistakes. Come on, this was a creative choice. So I'm gonna want to say that this is some kind of like false regeneration imprinted onto the Doctor by whoever it is, the celestial toy maker, Neil Patrick Harris, whoever he may be. But in my headcanon now, I'm going to say that this has been the entire Jodie Whittaker era took place in the Doctor's head as he's regenerating, to weaken him to the point, to have as much contradictions to the point where the celestial toy maker could imprint a regeneration onto him. That's in my head canon now. I gotta get rid of the Jodie Whittaker era, and I don't think we're seeing large collections of the Doctor again. Right? There's too many of them. Right now, it's like you can't get them all on screen. This is particularly true given how divisive it has been. Many viewers reject the idea outright, while others were willing to reserve judgment to wait and see what Chibnall intended to do with it. Tended to do nothing with it, do the idea. Again, it was very clear now. The only reason for the Timeless Child was to make the Doctor less white and less male. The only reason. No reason above and beyond that whatsoever. That particular the reserve judgment. See what it tended to do with the idea. That particular group of fans has shrunk as the years have passed. It's become clear Chibnall didn't intend to do anything with it at all. Yes, it's basically reviled, right? We don't like it. Rusty Davis supports the Timeless Child. Well, he does publicly. From what I understand privately, he hates it. He absolutely hates it. He hates it because it's garbage. Right, more than anything else, it's just a very poor idea, poorly executed. He absolutely hates it. Rusty Davis supports the Timeless Child. Retcon in the vaguest possible way, simply by suggesting it means canon and continuity are no longer binding in the slightest, and past stories of the Doctor from any medium can be folded into narrative. Well, that's true. That always was true, right? It basically. Doctor Who is made kind of on the fly by what seems to be fun and cool at the time. So yeah, we can see Absalom Dark in Doctor Who. We're almost certainly seeing Beat the Meat or Meet the Beat, whatever they are, in the 60th. We're seeing a lot of stuff. Man, it's going to look awesome. It's going to look so awesome. By now, the 13th Doctor has shown us Doctors Galore and Infinite Possibility wrote an introduction to an online prologue to the episode Rose, published online. All Doctors exist, all stories are true. That statement does not, however, imply he wants to do anything with the Timeless Child. Well done, right? He's just being polite and nice. The Timeless Child's story is still unfinished, and it's going to remain unfinished. Now, the truth is, if this era had any kind of like... what's the word I'm looking for? Commercial potential, but it really doesn't. If it had any commercial ability whatsoever, they could finish it in Big Finish, right? Although I just recorded another video today that Big Finish's days are probably numbered with this new Bad Wolf BBC Disney deal, right? They're just too small, right? Which is a shame. I really like Big Finish, but I think. Say, remember Virgin Books? Yeah. Quality doesn't mean you're going to be safe, I'm afraid. All this unfortunately means the Timeless Child story is still unfinished and was designed to be unfinished when Chibnall's time came to an end of the showrunner. So what? You're saying he J.J. Abrams did, right? He just set up some pieces and no idea how to conclude it. Well, you're just not a runner then. Right, a showrunner. You're just not a writer then. You're probably not a runner either. This is particularly disappointing for Joe Martin's future Doctor, a forgotten past incarnation of the Doctor, introduced alongside the Timeless Child retcon. Again, for me, that's gone now, right? Martin's Doctor is a historic one. She's the first black actress Doctor. Guys, stop being obsessed with other people's skin color. It's really weird and creepy, okay? I think that's the best description I can for you. It's just weird and just stop. It's not good for you, okay? It's not good. It's not fun. It's not funny. A forgotten Doctor, past incarnation of Doctor alongside the Timeless Child retcon. Martin's role as a black actress, blah, 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 and a portrayal immediately won over viewers. Well, only compared to Jodie Whittaker, who was stunningly awful, right? Listen. If you're going to get a very bad ballerina to dance Swan Lake and then compare it to me dancing Swan Lake, the bad ballerina is going to seem pretty darn good, right? It's pretty darn good. Jodie Whittaker was horribly miscast. Look, I don't think Jo Martin is a terrible actress. She probably would have done better as a Doctor. She looked really uncomfortable in that costume, right? She was like she thrust into it. Just didn't look comfy in that costume at all. But it's gone. It's forgotten, right? It sadly looks like though the TV series has no interest in continuing to develop her, with Martin's Doctor moving onto tie-in comics, which nobody's going to read, and an upcoming Big Finish audio series. They can really do something with it now, right? They can really. It's their last hurrah, I think. Ironically, it's like these other mediums will ultimately do more for the Timeless Child retcon than Chibnall himself. Well, you know what they could do, and again, I just don't think there's any commercial viability to this era. But apparently, was either Dalek, the New Year's special, which they want to be a Christmas special, that was written on the fly because the original one they weren't allowed to do the original one with Big Finish, right? If the people will buy it, people will buy it. But the thing is, it's gonna fail. Right, it's gonna fail. I mean, I'd love them to see if they could crowdsource it. Right, see how that goes. Probably as well as the crowdsourcing of the 13-inch action figure of Jodie, which I'm reliably informed they didn't raise the minimum amount, and BBC had to put in like a ton of money to get it to happen. Moving on to, ironically, these will probably do only a lot more for the Timeless Child retcon than Chibnall himself. Big Finish in particular has a history of building great stories out of controversial and derived ideas. That is true. That is very, very, very true, right? They are really the people to run with this. If there's a market for it, but there isn't. There just isn't. However, I will say this. I'm not going to get them. Well, I'll see who the writers are. But I'm not going to get them. Sacha Dhawan's Master, I couldn't stand until Power of the Doctor. He was great in it, right? He was really, really good. Power of the Doctor was essentially unwatchable garbage with great fan service, going all the way through it. And there's no interest in continuing to develop, blah, 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 big finish. And hopefully, so they got 2 box sets scheduled for. Will we get a 3rd box set? Depends how well it does, right? Building a story out controversial and derided ideas in the TV series. Well, that was something that was built out of the ethos of Virgin novels. I remember they were really excited to make the Vardens into a main villain, right? Vardens were kind of the crap villain from Invasion of Time. They were really like, oh, let's do the Vardens. And it was fun. It was good. I quite enjoyed it. Where are we up to? And the upcoming future Doctor series with Martin will surely only be the beginning. I think it's going to be the end. I just don't think they're going to sell enough to do a 3rd box set. I mean, if they do, God bless them. Whittaker herself has expressed a love for Doctor Who, and hopefully it won't be long before she too signed up for Big Finish. The Timeless Child, again, it's not going to sell. The Timeless Child sadly defined the Whittaker era, so it's reasonable to assume the retcon would be explored as well. I think they should lean into it. Why wouldn't they? Doctor Who can't ignore the Timeless Child forever. Give it a go, darling. Give it a go. We'd like you to try, right? We'll like you to give it the old college try. The Timeless Child retcon cannot be ignored by TV series forever. It's going to be ignored forever, okay? Half human on his mother's side, ignore forever. Timeless Child, ignore forever. And you can already feel it's gone, right? This video is kind of somewhat stale and out of date because it's gone, right? It introduces too many new concepts and ideas into Doctor Who lore, and sooner or later, writers will step forward and want to go somewhere with them. So yeah, listen, about 10 years, you might get one of the younger writers who are enamored with this. I don't even think it's going to happen. No. I was just going to say, you might get one of the younger writers who are around today and want to step up and want to do something when they become showrunner in 2050 or whatever, right? I don't think so, because I genuinely, and I'm sorry if I'm wrong, right? Genuinely, I think the only reason people have said this is an awful Doctor Who is because several reasons. One, tribalism. Yeah, again, they don't want to hear themselves saying, I don't like black people, which is what it's saying I don't like Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who means to them, right? They don't want that. But maybe, I think they're going to come out of that delusion. I think when you compare it to good Doctor Who, as we saw in Power of the Doctor, right? When we saw good performances, it blows Jodie Whittaker away, right? I think when they see good Doctor Who, this is going to be forget forever, right? And if somebody goes back and says, oh, let's go revisit it, and then they go watch it, they're going to be amazed at the absolute unprofessional nature, quality of the scripts, which they are unprofessional. If you're a professional writer and you watch those scripts, you'll be shocked. They are shocking. Sooner or later, Rise will step forward and want to go somewhere with them. There's no sense of irony to the fact that Chibnall was inspired by the 80s classic stories that hinted the Doctor was more than just a Time Lord, but deliberately avoided locking anything down because they also intended to restore a sense of mystery and intrigue to the character. No, the sense of irony is that he went around slagging it off on national TV, right? Don't you think it could have been, a little bit more original? Don't you think it could have been a little bit better written? That's a sense of fucking irony, right? Oh man, he was a kid. He was an idiot kid at the time, and he shouldn't still be paying for it, but. Kind of delicious that he is, isn't it? Fine. Spearheaded by script editor Andrew Cartmel, Doctor Who's so-called Cartmel meltdown became the foundation of Chibnall's Timeless Child. Bullshit! Bullshit! Not in the slightest. Andrew Cartmel said, what are you talking about? It's nothing to do with what we were going to do at all. No. Right, you may have ripped off ideas, much like in Power of the Doctor. Right, the Jodie meets the ethereal version of the Doctor inside her own mental landscape. Have the faces of former Doctors as she's regenerating or some such bollocks. Right, ripped off completely from Virgin novels. Paul Cornell timeline Revelation? I think. Ripped off completely from that. It's not the oh god. Where many viewers have complained as the Timeless Child is unfinished. No, they complain because it makes no sense. Right, we've seen the Doctor's entire timeline in, with the Matt Smith years. Right, there isn't like this whole massive bit that's like 50 times bigger than the rest of the Doctor's timeline. Right, now we haven't seen that. It makes no sense. I'm sorry, it doesn't explain the Morbius Doctors. It does that very, very poorly. Morbius Doctors being an illusion. This is by Paul Cornell, conjured to win the mind-bending tournament. Where many viewers have complained, Cartman himself is on record in considering it too specific, too concrete, and thus impossible to ignore. This whole era is being ignored. It's retconned its way out of existence. It's amused itself to death. Cartman failed to realise that introduction of a new element of mystery to Doctor Who. He didn't fail. Not at all. What are you talking about? You had Remembrance of the Daleks, which added in all this new lore. It was going to wrap up with Lungbarrow, written by Mark Platt, and they never. That happened in Virgin New Adventures. He genuinely added in new mystery onto it. Even the piece of shit Silver Nemesis. Doctor, what's it mean? You're just more than a Time Lord. And Doctor's like, right? It's like, no, he did enter a new mystery. Also with Sylvester McCoy's portrayal, which was, I think, excellent. Coming a whole set of unanswered questions, which would meant mysteries would inevitably be explored one day and answers provided. Fans watching Doctor Who would naturally start to imagine the stories they would tell sooner or later. Those fans would wind up involved in the show. Not really. In exactly the same way, a generation of viewers have watched Chibnall's Timeless Child retcon, and they are now coming up with creative ideas to build upon it. Yeah, again, it's so turgid. It's so badly written. It's so weakly thought through, right? I don't think you're going to get any defenders of this, right? At least with the Colin Baker years, you had the good performance of Colin Baker, which there was a good performance, running through it. And there was a lot of good in the Colin Baker years. Go see the Season 22 Blu-ray. There was a lot of bad as well, but there was a lot of good running through it. Don't know what to tell you. I don't think you have that with this era, right? The big take home from the Power of the Doctor is just how horribly miscast Whittaker was, right? They had to do everything to avoid her being on screen, and then they had to do everything to distract the viewer away from her terrible performance, right? There's no way getting around that, right? There's no way. What? I think Jasper Carrot had this joke in the 80s about watching, racing cars, a car race, right? Indy 500 or something, and the chief car was sponsored by Durex, a brand of condom, right? And the BBC wouldn't show it, right? It says, because it had the branding all over it. It said, it was a bit inconvenient because it was in the lead for most of the time. Same thing with Jodie Whittaker. You can't do anything in the Jodie Whittaker era without referencing Jodie Whittaker, who was stunningly awful, right? You are trapped with that, that problem. I don't think there's a way of building around it. There's no way of referencing that awful performance without it hurting the whatever story you work with. Who knows what Airstream, if they're going to find one. Doctor Who's Timeless Child concept may be dead, but it's only a matter of time before it returns. No, it's only a matter of time before it's forgotten forever. And that matter of time is over. Na 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 na, hey, 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 goodbye. It ended exactly how he said it would, in disaster. I'm sorry you've been embarrassed, Chris Chibnall, right? I really am sorry. I don't, I'm not a fan of people like having their lives torn apart by poor work they've done, right? But it ended exactly how he told you it would, because it was awful. Right? I mean, the bottom line, because it was awful. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.